here. Is there anyone out there yet? I don't think so. So we'll start very soon. And I've got somebody watching, that's good. Hello, number one. Today we're going to be doing some three-dimensional and some drawing, so that will be something nice. And I wonder what it's like where you are today. I am looking at grey skies, not too sunny. Carol, hello, nice to see you. Oh, we've got three now. Hi. Who else have I got there? You're going to put your names up so I can see. And then we'll start. Remember, if you've missed any of the lessons, you can backtrack. If you go to Art Jeanni, you can find all the lessons still visible. And please like and share them. Hi Emily, nice to see you again. I'm glad you can hear me today, that's good. I'm sorry about the other day, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but as I said, I'm learning as I go, so I probably pressed the wrong button or something. Anybody else there? Got three so far. We'll wait till past again and start just after past. I've got another one just come in. Who else is there? There's two more of you I can see. I'm just going to grab a little bit of tea while we're waiting. Pamela, nice to see you again. Thank you for the lovely messages some of you are sending me as well, so thank you. And the TripAdvisor things, it's just wonderful, so thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm enjoying doing this with you, but it's lovely when you're doing those things as well, and it's lovely to hear back. Please send me any of your pictures you've already completed. I've got another couple of people up there now. Please like and share, even if you do it right now. We might pick up a few more people to be interested then, which would be good. So if all of you could like press the like and then the share button on your Facebook, that would be wonderful. Pamela's here. Who else have we got there? A few more. I can see a few more popping up at the moment. I can't see who you are, but I can see you're there. I've been trying to work out this morning how to use Zoom, because next week I'm planning on doing proper sketch, paint and perspective lessons on Zoom. So if anyone's interested in that, please let me know. Oh, I've got some hearts and thumbs ups going for that. Obviously someone likes the idea of that. Those ones won't be free, but these ones will continue free. So this is my old classroom teacher and me popping out again, bringing up some of the lessons I've done in the past. And as I said, feeling a bit like a Blue Peter lady. So there we go. Hello Jeannie, hello Pamela, shout out to you. And hello Emily. Anyone else? Well, hang on a moment, because there's no point starting till we get a group of you going. So I hope you're enjoying your day. As I said, I've been fighting with learning how to use Zoom as a group, but I think I've just about sorted it out now. And been helping my son in Australia with a very exciting project that you'll see go up on Facebook soon that he's doing to do with entertainers. So that will be good. And yes. Who else is there? Oh, we're up to 7 now. Hello, whoever else it is that's just arrived. Nice to see you there. And anyone else coming up? Yep, somebody's disappeared and then come back again. Hello. If you haven't seen the other lessons, backtrack. You can do them again. And if you don't understand something I've said or you forget something, just rerun the lesson or fast forward it to the bit you need. Oh, Simon, hi. Nice to see you again. I've got Charlotte and Emily there. That's fantastic. Hello, Charlotte and Emily. That's funny because they're, well, two of one of my daughter's names near enough. So there you go. Obviously got similar names, tastes and names. Who else have we got there? I've got people popping in and out. I won't start for another few minutes yet, 2 or 3 more minutes. Make sure you've got all your equipment. If you can, we need today paper, thick paper, thin paper, A4 again. I'm trying to keep this simple. Some sellotape, pair of scissors. So pair of scissors, we need some sellotape. And if you've got any bright colour, yellow and green or gold papers around, that would be great, but you don't need them now. You could just try the idea with them later if you haven't got them there. If you've only got white paper, it's fine because we can colour it in or we can paint it or something later. So don't worry about that. You can get the idea today and then you can do it later. If anyone's got some artworks that you've already done from these lessons, please, please, please send me photos through because I really love to see what you're doing. Last night I forgot to post them. I do apologise. I got really tired. So Tonight I'll put yesterday's and today's up, so please send them. Got some more hearts and things going up. Is there anybody else there? A few more people. We'll leave it another minute or two. And this morning I've been teaching a boy in London how to do perspective. So we've been doing aerial views of rooms, looking into rooms from above, from a bird's eye view. And that's been something I love doing. So that's something I usually do in the full-on normal lessons that I run, rather than these more arty crafty ones that I'm doing at the moment. Oh, we've got Kevin again. Hello, Kevin from Falmouth. Lovely to see you again. Thank you for dropping in. And who else is there? A few more coming. Please like and share. If you do it right now, then it will mean that even more people probably pop up. Okay, so I think we're pretty much on time, so I will start. If you've seen it before, please go with me, but it's just so I can explain. My normal art teaching, I've taught in schools for years, and you're seeing some of that side of me now, but I've also devised a very unique art course that means anybody can learn to draw and paint very, very quickly. So this was the 3-hour progress of a 10-year-old girl. This was 3 hours on perspective. Even architects have said they couldn't believe what they learnt. 3 hours on paint, after which this was the progress of a 90-year-old stroke victim after 5 lessons, a 50-year-old German lady after 4 lessons, and a Sri Lankan gentleman of 40 after 3 lessons. So the progress is really, really quick. That's the private lessons. It's different to what I'm doing here. It's a lot of psychology thrown in as well. So if anyone's interested in that, please give me a shout. This was the product of all of that from a 12-year-old girl in London the other day doing watercolours with me. And this was a gentleman of 13 up in London, his progress before and after the lesson. And that was only in an hour and a half on a Zoom lesson from London. So please keep that in mind and tell your friends. Okay, so here we go today. Somebody who I don't think is there at the moment, so I hope they watch it later, particularly asked that we did daffodils for Easter. So I thought, what a nice idea. So today we're going to do daffodils in different ways. And I just grabbed these off the internet very quickly. Now, I can't really use these because it's not right that I should, but at the same time, you can find your own images of daffodils very, very quickly on the internet. If you just search daffodils picture, lots of things will pop up. If you don't want to be exactly like a real daffodil, that's fine too. But if you want to be, you can look them up and find them. So today, we're going to do both flat daffodils. Whoops, I've just dropped everything. And we're also going to do 3-dimensional daffodils like this. So I hope you like the idea. You can send me a few thumbs ups and things to see if it sounds like a good plan. And I'm also going to show you how to do flat ones with crayons and paint as well if I get the time. So first thing you need will be 2 pieces of paper. One's going to be your background and then one's going to be cut up to make into the daffodil. If you wanted to, you don't have to do this now, so don't rush off or anything, but you could do this on black paper or green paper or maybe a piece of old wallpaper, not on the walls though please, that might be around. Hello Anita, nice to see you. And you could basically use any kind of paper to be the basic background for this that you'd fancy. So for example, if we'd done this on black, then it would have looked more like that, which might have been quite nice because it makes it stand out even more, but it depends what you fancy. Okay, so number 1, you want your flat piece of paper and you're going to lay that again, portrait, which means this way. That's landscape, we're doing it portrait, so put it portrait for now. Now, if you've got coloured green paper, use that. If you haven't, you could practice this with a piece of white paper for now and just get the idea of how to do it and do some more later. And the other thing you could do would be either use some green paint on it, or even if you've got some green felt pens or green crayons, you could potentially, I would suggest going up and down, so that you kind of get lines like the leaves go up and down. Colour in a piece of paper. I'm holding 2 crayons in 2 different greens at once. That often makes it much more interesting, very, very quickly. I've got rather a bluey green there, which was probably a mistake, but we'll go with it because that's what I've done. And you can see very, very quickly you could colour in your paper green. It doesn't have to be perfect, or you could paint it. I probably wouldn't use felt pens because it will take you forever, but obviously it's up to you. If you happen to have some of these chalk pastels, you could colour in it more quickly. I don't have green, but if you lay them on their side like that, you could colour in even more quickly with that. Or of course paint. So that's up to you, or you might find some old green wrapping paper around, or something else that's arrived in the post or in your recycling that's green. It could be plastic, it could be paper, it's up to you. Once you've done that, and if you like, just follow me today in white, and then you can always do the colouring bit later. We're going to take your second piece of paper and fold it in half this way. So we've gone portrait and then we've folded long ways, and we're going to fold it. So if you send me some thumbs up each time when you've done it, then I know that I'm not going too fast. Okay. Then we're going to fold it again in half. So I'm going again, and I'm going to fold it again. And this would be your green paper or your coloured in green paper. Somebody's done that already. Has anybody else done it yet? Then we can fold it. In fact, we could go one more or not. That's up to you, but I'm just going to go one more. And fold it down the middle. Now this is going to turn into our leaves and our stalks. So basically, if you've missed it, we've taken our sheet of paper. We're going to have coloured or painted it or used green paper or something like green paper. Fold it in half, fold it in half, fold it in half. Now, if you've got little hands and little scissors, I would suggest you then opened it up again and let this be the middle fold of your leaf. If you're an adult doing it, maybe try cutting through all the layers, but I think for today we'll go with this one. And I've got the fold down the middle of the leaf. That will make it look better and more 3D. I'm going to leave the very bottom bit quite square, like this. I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to cut in and cut up. Staying quite a long way away and then coming into a point right on the top of that fold. Now I'm going to need that bit later, so put it safe. Then I'm going to turn it round, and I've got the fold down the middle still. I'm going to cut up the other side. So I'm cutting up here now, and I'm cutting so it looks a bit like a leaf, and it's getting narrower and narrower and thinner until we come off at the point at the top. Now we've got these again, which we're going to keep, but we're just worrying about the leaves for now. So they're going to look a bit like this. If I fold it back in half again, and I've got 4 of them because we folded the paper a number of times. So I've got 4 of these leaves with a fold down the middle. If by any chance your leaf hasn't got a fold down the middle, just give it a bit of a squeeze and give it one. So we've got 4 like that, and can you see they've all got a fold down the middle, and that's going to help them look more like real leaves. Okay, can you some thumbs up and things when you've got to this bit, just so I know that you're with me. So we've got something like that. Has anybody done that much yet? So if you have just come on, I've seen a couple of people just pop up. Take a piece of paper this way, fold it in half again, and fold it in half again, and then cut yourself a long leaf shape for a daffodil. Okay, looks like some of you are there now. Then you could choose. You can have some of them with their fold forward and some of them with their fold back. So if you look, some have got the fold going one way and some have got the fold going the other way. That's quite nice because it will make all the leaves look different. And then what we're going to do is bunch them together a bit like that, so they're kind of crisscrossy. You don't want them all neat and tidy because it's not the way daffodils grow. And then, whoops, we're going to bend a couple of them, because also out in the fields and things you notice that some daffodils have got bent leaves, and I'm deliberately going to move one of the leaves down a bit, so one's a bit shorter and one's a bit taller. Now with any luck that starts looking a bit like, whoops, rather droopy daffodil leaves. Okay, we've got Claire now. Hi to Claire in London. Got people coming in from all over the place. So we've got a group of leaves like that. This bit down in my hand is all a bit different lengthy, not that there's such a word. So I'm just going to snip across there so they're all the same length now, and I've got a nice bunch of leaves. Now once you've done that, we need to join these together. Now if you're going to have to put it down for a minute, I would just fold that very end together just so you don't lose where you held it all. So I've just made a tiny fold and dropped my leaf at the very, very bottom. And then I'm going to fix that on the back together with sellotape. So I'm going to have to do this with my teeth. I do apologise. Otherwise I'm going to have to walk away from the camera. So I've broken off a tiny bit of sellotape, and I'm going to stick this all together here at the back so that all the leaves are held together. And if need be, it can come around the front as well, or if you can avoid it, you can. So I've now sellotaped my leaves together at the bottom. All right, so that's that bit done. Now these leaves, if you're going to colour them, I would use 2 or 3 greens like I just demonstrated on here. Even if it's green paint you're using, I wouldn't just use one shade of green. You could do these just as white flowers though, or if you had some nice silver paper or gold paper, why not just do silver and gold daffodils? There's no rules saying they have to be green and yellow. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you this against black because I think you're going to see it better. I'm going to then attach these leaves to the bottom of the paper here with a little bit of sellotape. Now you can do it on the outside if it's tricky for your fingers, but quite a nice trick is to do this. You should take a piece of sellotape and you put the sticky side onto the outside, and leaving all the stickiness on the outside, you make a sort of roll of sellotape with the stickiness out, not in. And it gets very difficult to move, but you end up with a sort of knot of sellotape like that with all the stick on the outside. If I put that on the back of my leaves there, I'm sticking it on the black only so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to stick that down there at the bottom. So there we go, we've got the leaves stuck on now. And if I wanted to make sure that one of these leaves wasn't going to come forward, or if I wanted to make one a bit bendy like that, then I could stick another little sellotape scroll behind it. So I might just do that with one of them just to make it a bit more interesting. So another piece of sellotape, twirly whirly it round, make a little backward to front sausage roll that's all sticky on the outside. And I'm just going to stick that at the back of that leaf and then push it where I want it, and now it makes it look a bit more real because the leaves aren't all standing up straight. Okay, if you now go back to your thin bits that we put down, we're going to make these bits into your stalks. So I would cut them a bit thinner and maybe give yourself 1 or 2 stalks. I would do 1 for now because this one can be your test run. And so we've now got a stalk. That's going to be the stalk to put your daffodil on. So I'm going to make another little twirly whirly bit of sellotape, and then I'm going to post my stalk somehow down behind the leaves and fix it in place. Hello Hilary, how are you today? Ah, okay, well you can catch up later Hilary. Lovely to see you again. Apparently Hilary's got to work this afternoon. That's no good, is it? I don't know that I should tell you what Hilary does for a job, but she's saved the day for me many, many times, so I have a lot of respect for her. Lovely lady. There we go. So we've got the leaf now, and I'm going to sellotape that in place. Now we're going to get on to doing the flower, the actual flower. As I said, you could be using up old wrapping paper like this, even tin foil from the kitchen. So you don't have to think you've got to colour everything in. So I only found that I have very, very bright yellow paper. So we're going to use my incredibly bright yellow paper. Please don't think it's because bright yellow paper is the best, it's because it's all I have in the house. So this should be definitely a case of use up what you've got. Oh, I can see some Robert in London watching. So now take your piece of paper. This time we're in landscape. I would fold it in half once this way, going across the landscape. If you do that first, then fold it in half again, like that. So we folded it in half once from top to bottom, then once again there. And again, you could colour this in. Claire from London's saying, wow, that's yellow. I did say it's the only yellow paper I could find in my house. I'm not quite sure what that says about me, but there we go. And then again, we're going to fold once more. So we've basically, I'll just do that again, just in case anyone's got lost. A4 piece of paper, folded in half once, then folding long ways, and then folding once more that way. So if you'd all like to do that, send me a few hearts and things when you've done it, please, just so I know you're there. And then we're going to cut some leaves out. Now, I tore my paper when I pulled it out, so I'm going to use that tear. And I'm going to draw this on in big black felt pen. Now, I don't want you to, it's only so you can see what I'm doing, because I know it's difficult. I looked on the internet at the shape of daffodil leaves, and they seem to be something like this. So it's almost like a round circle with a pointy bit on the top. So you could almost think of a round circle with a pointy bit. Now, if you wanted to draw that really lightly in pencil, you could. Whatever you do, please don't do it in felt pen. I'm only doing it so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to cut through. Again, if you're a littlie, get a mum or a dad or a big brother or sister or someone to help you. And we're going to cut round like this. I'm cutting back to front, so I'm watching the screen. And I'm going to drop those bits. I might use those later for something else, because recycling is a good thing, obviously, as we all know. And now I'm going to cut round the leaf the other way. And with any luck, I'm going to get 6 leaves. Now, I've got someone in London saying we could also do tulips like this. That's a really good idea. And we could do all sorts of other flowers with it, but we've now got 6. Well, in fact, we've got 8. So we've got 2 spares, because my research on daffodils, not being the world's best gardener, tells me that they usually have 6. So I've got 8, but that doesn't matter, because then if anything's gone wrong, I've got a couple of spares. And also, if you make another lot of 8, eventually you're going to have enough to make a number of daffodils. Now, you could just stick your daffodil leaves together like that. And I need one more. I'm 1 short at the moment. I don't think you get 5 petal daffodils, but I know I've got at least 1 very good gardener out there today. So please do tell me, because I don't know so much about these things. And you could just do it like that. But I think it could be even more fun, because again, watching on the internet, it looks like the leaves often bend. So you could do this 2 ways. You can either keep the pointy end up. You could either pinch the bottom bit together and then press it out a bit like that before you sellotape them down, and that way they'll be a bit 3D. So that's quite a nice way of doing it. Another quite clever trick, if you've got a mum or dad to help you, is to run between the knife and your thumb. So you press your thumb on the top and the knife below. And if you pull, then the corner of the flower will curl like that. So we could get a kind of curly whirly leaf like that. Petal rather. But the one I think is the easiest is to make a little fold right here in the middle, just like that. So just pinch it together. And then concertina, which means you're going to do one little fold up, one little fold back, one little fold up, one little fold back. And looking at all my pictures on the internet of daffodils, this seems to be more how they go. Again, if somebody wants to tell me that I've got it all wrong, please feel free, because I looked this up this morning and was trying to work out a way to do it because the lady specifically asked for it. So if we do it like that, then when you stick them down, you end up with something that's a bit more ripply like this one, which actually looks quite nice, and it means the petals come out from the page a bit as well, which is nice. So when you've done your 6 leaves, can you give me some petals rather? Can you give me your thumbs up and some things so I know you're ready? And then I will move on again. I've had some amazing pictures sent and different things. Some of the beach huts and garden sheds have been lovely that I've been receiving. So please show me any of the images and things you've been doing. Somebody really nicely sent me a picture of them actually doing the art lesson at the computer with me on the computer that I put up last night. And that was really nice because I kind of got a feeling I'm getting to know you by that. So any pictures like that are really lovely. So thank you. If you want to contact me for templates or anything, you can get me at www.artatthebeach.co.uk. And also if you did want any of the specialist art lessons, then that's where you'll find me as well. For anyone that's still catching up with me, because I think a few are a bit behind, that means that on Friday as well I'm doing a charity event where I'm doing an hour-and-a-half free art lesson for Cornwall's Children's Hospice. So if anyone would like to join in on that, if you search Cornwall's Children's Hospice, you'll see that I'm on, I think it's 2:30 till 4, I believe. I need to check. So have a look at that. So obviously this lesson won't be happening as such, but you can join me for a longer one on the other channel. Other than that, I'll keep going at 2:30 for now. So we've got this page, we've stuck all your daffodil and things on. The way we're going to stick the leaves down is the same. We're going to make a scroll of sellotape, make it sticky to the outside, and if you've got little fingers this might be tricky. You could use a glue stick, you could also use blue tack, but as I said, sellotape, I'll show you how to do it with sellotape. I'm going to stick my little dot of stickiness in the middle there, and then I'm going to stick my leaves, my petals, onto it like that. And make sure you don't cover it up with your first petal, because otherwise you'll have no space left to then put your other ones. Now I'm putting a random selection of my petals, some finished, some not. And if you run out of sticky bit, put another sticky dot there and go again. Okay, so that's that part of your daffodil. Now obviously the last thing we've got to do to it is to put the centre bit in. Now again, there's lots of different ways we could do this. One of them, which is what I've done here, is it's stuck on with sellotape again, is I actually cut a little ring of toilet paper, a toilet roll. And remember, we're saving up toilet rolls for next week. You're going to need about 12, so save your toilet rolls. But I took a piece of toilet roll and cut through, and then I wrapped it. So you could paint the toilet roll, you could colour it. I've just wrapped it, and then I tucked the extra paper down like that. And then using little round bits of sticky sellotape again, or a glue stick or whatever, I'm going to stick that into the middle, and we've got one daffodil. Now that was one idea, but you could also, if you haven't got a toilet roll to use, you could make yourself a little piece of straight paper with a corrugated edge like that, and then stick it round together and get your centre that way. So that would just be cutting a strip of paper and then cutting ziggy-zaggy bits in it. Or of course, you could cut your piece of paper. I'm doing it with this vivid orange. It's very interesting because I'm going through some of my old teaching equipment to do these lessons, and I keep finding very fascinating and interesting things. So another way you could do it would be to actually corrugate the paper again, which means fold it backwards and forwards almost in pleats. Again, if you're a littler, you might find this a bit difficult, so you don't need to do it. I'm just giving you options. That way, if there's someone that wants to do something more elaborate, they can. If somebody wants to do something simpler, they can. Whatever you do will be beautiful. And I was thinking these would make lovely Easter cards for your families. So you've done an Easter beach hut, and you've now got one of these. So you're going to have some cards for different family members. Now I've zigzagged it together like that. And then what I could do to do the centre of it would be then to cut a little point at the top there and back the other way there. And then that means you've got the middle of your daffodil. And you could stick that one on as well. So here is your daffodil. And you could always decorate it with butterflies and caterpillars, and you could draw on some grass. You could do it in silver or gold. You can do it on paper. You can change it as you like. So the other thing I thought I'd do quickly was, because the person who asked me to do this asked me also to show it quickly in paint and in crayons. So if you don't want to do it 3D, oh, and just to backtrack for a second, I've lost it, here we go. When we did the sheds and things with the doors the other day, you could always put some little daffodils that kind of popped up through a window. If you made this like the shutters on a window, you could always have your little daffodils do tiny ones that were poking out through the window or something, and then write Happy Easter. Or you could do, oops, I've got paint all over me now, well done Jean. And the same here, you could always do it as a greetings card and put the flowers on the front and your message on the inside. I'm just going to have to wipe my hand 1 second, I do apologise. I've managed to get paint everywhere. So, if you want to do this with paint, if you do have paint at home, the best way of doing something like this is to put all your paints on your palette ready. So I've put out red, yellow, black and white, or sorry, green and white. And then this is not what you would expect necessarily. I would do the flowers first for this, so we don't get in a muddle. And I'm going to do it on a piece of watercolour paper, so it's nice stiff paper. I would do it on thicker paper than thinner paper. You can draw the edge of your flower lightly in pencil if it makes you feel better about it. And the way you could do this would be to put a little line across and then 2 little lines across this way. So you've kind of got 6 legs. It's almost like a 6-legged spider like that. And then you could draw your 6 petals coming out. Remembering they've got a pointy end and they coming out from each of those little spider's legs. So if you can see, I'm drawing the petals around like that, following out from my spider's legs. Once you've done that, we're going to do the daffodil first. The middle of the daffodil will have a round circle in it, and that round circle will be ziggy-zaggy like this, and that will be the kind of trumpet bit of the daffodil in the middle. And then we'll do the leaves and things afterwards. And I'm now going to put yellow on my brush, and that's all. So I only got yellow, and I'm using a square brush. I find those much more easy for lots of things than round ones, but if you've only got round ones, that's fine. I've put a little bit of red on it as well, just so that it's going to be a bit more interesting. And I'm going to very carefully only go round the edge of the daffodil. Now that one's come out a little bit too red, but never mind. When I've done that, I'm going to wet my brush, which I didn't before, and I've cleaned off some of the paint, and I'm now going to use only a wet brush to drag some of this paint now down towards the middle of the flower. And it doesn't have to be particularly perfect, it just needs to drag down. And you get some really lovely effects where you've got more than one colour. This one I'm going to make more yellow, so I'm only going to pick the tiniest bit of orange up. I'm going to go round the edge of the petal again like this, and round the edge there. I use baby wipes a lot, but I'm washing my brush now so it's cleaner, and then I'm using only water to bring the rest of that flower down towards the trumpet in the middle. So we've now got 2 petals done. This one I'm going to do just in yellow with only the whisper of that orangey colour, and I'm going round the edge again and round the edge again, and when I've done that I'm cleaning my brush, wetting my brush, and only using water to then pull the rest of the colour down towards the middle. And you could end up with a really beautiful flower that way. For the middle, I'm going to put a little bit of orange, red, and a little bit of yellow on the corner of my brush again. And I'm going to zigzag round like this to get that middle trumpet, like that. And then again, I'm going to clean my brush, and I'm not going to add any more paint. And I'm just going to very lightly, in like little lines, pull that paint into the centre of the circle. And you can see your daffodil growing. For the leaves, a really good trick is this. And this is some of the kind of things I teach in the other lessons, but a very basic version of it at the moment, is if you have got a square brush, lay the brush like a helicopter landing on the yellow first. So the yellow's only on one side, and I'm going to lay the green only on the other side. So yellow on one side, green on the other. I'm going to touch the water, and then I'm going to put the leaf in. I'm going to start at the top of the leaf and make a very small mark using my knife edge of the brush. And then I'm going to press down, into it. And then I'm going to lift the weight on it again so it gets less as it goes down. Now that I would just use as a stalk, but can you see what a beautiful effect you get having 2 colours on your brush at once? And if I did another leaf like that and keep it going all the way down, you're getting really nice, interesting leaves. And if you wanted to have one that crisscrossed across, like we did with the paper, start at the end of the leaf like that, right up on your knife edge, making a very small mark. Start pressing into the brush, and then here I'm going to turn the corner and come down and make the leaf bend over. Now obviously I haven't finished this, but I hope you get the idea of what I'm saying. So the leaves I would do afterwards, because if I'd finished this one here, then I would have started a leaf, say here, and then carried it on from here, and that way the flower would still come forward. You could of course put some of the leaves across the flower as well if you liked. So if you want to do that, that's another option. And just to close really, really quickly, if you look up here at the flip chart, you'll see here's one I was messing around with earlier. And just play with ideas. Don't worry if they're perfect or not. I'm sure whoever receives your nice card or picture will love it anyway. And also, a lot of art should be about the fun of it rather than it all being about perfection as you see it. So I'm going to use 2 brighter colours only so you can see it again. But again, I always use 2 colours at once. And here I'm using chalk pastels or chalk. And I'm coming down and drawing around the outside of the leaf one way, the outside of the leaf the other way, and then I'm pulling down through the middle. And with this I can actually smudge it together a bit as well. So there's one leaf gone in, and I need to move the camera, sorry, my mistake. And then the next petal going in. and then smudge it in. Don't feel everything has to be outlined or finished. The next leaf going in, petal, sorry, and so it goes on. And then for the middle, we'll use the orange that I just dropped, and we'll go round doing the zigzaggy middle bit again. And then with your finger, you can just pull the rest of that into the middle. And the very last thing you should do in the centre of your daffodils is draw some little seedy bits, stamen, and those bits down there. And again, always use 2 colours. Never just do them one colour. Use a variety of colours. It always looks better. And if you were doing the leaves, again, use 2 greens. You could do it with wax crayons, chalk, pastels, anything you like. So you've got some painted daffodils where you put the paint on the edge and then bled it back down. That's how this picture here was done, but with me painting flat with the girl watching. So this is a copy of hers, but you can see how that colouring the edge and pulling it towards the middle works really well. That obviously wasn't a daffodil. We've also got the 3-dimensional... Sorry, for some reason it fell over. You've also got this 3-dimensional daffodil here. I seem to have dropped a lot today, I do apologise. Anyway, so enough from me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you some ideas. Please put up some likes and things so I know that you're there, and please like and share these lessons. It's nice that people have got something to do. You don't have to do it at 2:30. It's obviously nice if you're here with me, but at the same time the lessons stay up for a long time. There's a face drawing one, a figure drawing one, a beach hut one, flying creatures, standing up people. You've now got 3-dimensional and flat daffodils. So enjoy them all. Please like and share, and hopefully meet me here tomorrow at 2:30. Take care. Bye. Please send me some messages and photos afterwards. See you soon. Bye.